Hmm. All good. Okay. Take this. I can go here. Take take. I will take with this. I will do this. Take. I can just take that. Take or not. Hmm. Good. This will light. Can it doesn't take. Now this is weak. This one is, if it takes, it will be alone. There will be no other pawns to protect. I think that's okay. I can just play this. Still, it will be a weak thing. Okay, take this. I think I will take. I'm not sure though. Hmm, I think I will just this go there. Okay, I think I will do this one here just to castle, and we can figure out rest later. Rest of it later. Okay. Hmm. I think he will go. He's thinking. Like, let me see what's happening here. Okay, he can take it, but then I will say, in this no he can take this is the week. I think he'll focus on this one. Okay, I just want to get out of here. Just want to castle and get out of the set. Then we can figure out the rest later. Okay. I don't know what he is thinking. Just taking his time. Is there something I'm missing? Okay. Then okay. It did. He just there. That doesn't really do anything. Okay. So let's just have to do. Or I can try this, and this. I think I will pick this. Okay. Uh, oh, play this. I need to do this. Then I don't do this. I can just take, and I will win. But is that really a good thing to do? I can take and win a pawn, place, and I can play this because he has in castle. So I will take, I think, this, this. Okay, this time to this. Let me see what is trying to do. This, no, this, this time I can take this, or I can play this. If I play this, he has to and go back. Not also threatening anything. So maybe I'll think I will just if I play this. Oh yeah, really? Just move. And there will he then you know just be accounted for that. Okay, we can't take this or this. What can we do? We can take this and try. Something is is that a good mm, you know it- I think I'm getting a pawn free pawn. Why not? Two. Does he have any way to trap my queen? No, I don't think so. Okay, he takes back. I can play this, or I can just take and then take, and I will win another pawn. That will do. We will take, give a check, draw, give another check, and take, take this pawn. I will pick that up. Now I can try to play something like this, bring the other rook in the center. Okay, we have our options. It looks good. And three pawn. Okay, that's a good thing, but we have to be careful. I want to play this. I play this. I want to play that. But what will I do? You're playing this. What I I want to play this, but you can just go back. I don't have any other one in mind, so I will just play. I can play this. Oh, could have played that. If that doesn't do anything, he can just move. He can come here, and I can go back. Somehow I think I can use this. Yeah, I can. Maybe. Let's see. He has to go back. If he doesn't, I can stay. Okay, he goes back. What will do is he can try to somehow get this like this. What can I do? A lot of things. I can play this just to stop from him from doing anything. Make progress and go there. Something I like playing. Or we can play the other route. Okay. Somehow I'm setting up something. I think that could be something. Okay. So this kind of thing. Stop that. No, I can. And I'm also threatening this. Okay, everything goes back as it was. Okay, I can play this. Things safe. Someone has to make a mistake. So someone will. I hope I'm not the one who makes it really bad. I want to get there. I made a mistake, I think. I made a mistake. Would like to think that I made a mistake. But it doesn't. I just don't have time to think. I have to be careful because my brain is certainly trapped a little. He just don't care. Oh, does that I have to get out? I could have played. Okay. Look. Oh, very good. That was a bad mistake. Okay, I didn't have. We were clearly winning, but then we gave it away. Nothing bad. Really. Yeah, that was it. Is there anything? Can it somehow still? Oh, I'm out. That was it. Bishops or Sahana? Let's analyze. Hmm. We clearly had advantage in the middle. Yeah, we did. This was -3. I just couldn't convert. If I had more time, I could have converted. But that's fine. Hmm. Let's see. Okay, I should have taken that. Okay. Hmm. We clearly don't know what we are doing. It's- Oh, oh, what? All good. We just played good this time. We made some stupid. Here, what should I have played instead of? I wasn't thinking it. Okay, but today I played. Okay, in this round that would have been good. Okay, okay, okay. Hmm. I should have practiced. That's fine. I think so. Yeah, I didn't use my pawn. I could. Yeah, I should have pushed. That would have helped just to get his attention from center to side. Yeah, that would have been help. That would have. I didn't use them at all. I should have moved this pawn. I, I should have. I again went. I repeated there. Uh, that was. I think that's where we went wrong. Couldn't have it. I don't. It. Hmm. Okay. This. This. No, he couldn't take because that would have. No. Okay. It, let. If I play this, he would have taken. Then what? What did we have? That was just good. Why? Why? Because I opened my bishop. I think that's why. Okay. Oh, here I could have gone here. Okay, okay. Why did I move my queen? That went to the. Okay, we were equal pretty at and after making a lot of bad moves. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what we need to learn. Hmm, Yes. Hmm, Oh no. Okay.
One of the quickest ways to end a chess game is to overwhelm your opponent by getting an extra queen. And to get an extra queen, you're going to need to get one of your pawns to the other side of the board, like this. And in order to do that, you're going to need what is called a passed pawn. A passed pawn is one that has a straight shot to the other side of the board without bumping into another pawn or being able to be captured by another pawn. The pawn has passed all the other pawn obstacles. Look at the pawn on f5. Is this a passed pawn? No, it's blocked by the pawn on f6. What about the pawn on b5? That's right, it's not blocked by any pawns and cannot be captured by another pawn as it advances up the board, so it's a passed pawn. One important feature of passed pawns is whether they are connected or not. Let's see what happens when you have a passed pawn that isn't connected. After b6, black can play king to c6, easily capturing that pawn before it gets to queen. In this position, white can save the pawn on b6 with the move c5. White has two connected passed pawns. Black will not be able to capture either of these pawns. Notice if black tries to take the pawn on c5, the other pawn runs up the board and promotes into a queen. Finally, you often can create a passed pawn by trading one of your pawns for one of the opponent's pawns when you have a pawn majority. A pawn majority is when you have more pawns on a certain side of the board than your opponent. In this position, white has two pawns against one pawn. This is a pawn majority, and white plays b6. After a takes b6, a takes b6, white captures back and now has a passed pawn. Can you make the most of your passed pawns? Let's see.
Okay. Yes. Okay, okay. We make him, but we have a victim. Okay, okay. Okay. If we take this, we promote on this square, then we can take it. Instead of just making a we get an extra. This one is easy. We just don't. He blocks. Okay. Maybe I will just block my king over there. That's not. Huh. What can I? Okay. 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 Here is it. This is it. I can play this, and he can't take because I can just river me. But I can play this and this. Oh, all work. But do we shopping work? Yeah. Good. This we are both both. I think I will play this one. This because if I play this, I can take with check. This is this one. I am just opening. Oh, I can do this. And this. Yeah, this is interesting because if he moves, this this square will be gained by his stuff, so I don't. But what I can do is put my bishop here, and his king has to take. If he doesn't, that doesn't matter because my bishop stays here. If he takes, like he has to move to push his. But I promote. Four. This pawn is the closest to me. Okay. What can I do? This pawn is going ahead. I have to stop this. Okay, it's my move. This, this. No, that is this. Goes here. That is this. I need to here. No, we can't. Can we? Here. I need to be on this square. Okay. We go to that square. I can either come from here or here. Okay. How do I reach? I can only come from here and here, or here, here, here. Okay. Here. We're not fast enough. Something else. What can I do? I can do this. How do I stop him? I don't know. Can you find the only path for White's knight that prevents Black B pawn from promoting? Is there a path? No, so there must be a path. Okay, that's for sure. If he says whatever, we need to stop him, and we need to raise the just in 3 moves. How can we do that? Okay, there we can stop him from promoting if we reach either of three square. Okay, I which one can we reach? If we need to go here, we need to come from here. We we can go here from here, and to reach here, we also must go from here. So we need to reach two of these. And we check this one. This doesn't work. Let's check for this. Yes. How can we get here? We can either get here, and here. So, oh, oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Earlier, when we were doing this, we weren't reaching because we weren't fast enough. Knight needed one extra move, then we could have done it. But we can't get an extra move. But what we can gain a tempo by giving him a check. So we get an extra move because he has to move his king. That's interesting. So we get 3+1. We reach here. We can reach there. Okay, that's good. Oh, I missed that. I could have done it. Gained a tempo. Okay, now we can just go here and stay here. Anyway. Oh, yeah, that's all.
It's a wonderful thing when you have a pawn that can freely run to the other side of the board and queen. But that usually doesn't happen. Your opponent is going to do everything possible to stop your pawn. This is why you will usually have to escort your pawn with your own king. In this position, Black uses the king to step in front of the White king to create a virtual shield so that the Black pawn can run to the promotion square. After king to f2, White's king cannot move closer to the pawn, so the king tries another path to get to the pawn, with king to d3. After g3, there goes the pawn.
Yeah, this all. Okay, okay. Sorry, wrong arrow. We can just click here. Okay, I have to play for black. Okay, okay, just we can just stop him from going. That's, does he go? Nah, we can't go that. Okay, we go here. Oh, what's he doing? Okay. Are you going to win or draw the same game as white? It depends on your next. Okay, if I play this, no, I can just play this. That does it. What? I promote. Okay. This one I can promote. And same thing. You are not fast. Hmm. Yeah. So I have to stop him from promoting. Okay. That's simple. We just counter him.
As you know, the object of the game is checkmate. On the way to checkmate, you have to gain a winning advantage, such as queening a pawn before your opponent and using that extra
Okay. Hmm. That's simple. Oh. Hmm. I think this works. Is there anything I missed? Oh, I think he will try to play this one and then I put in this. So earlier we had the same, but here is just a little bit different with three pawns. Okay, so we just go in front and force his king to come in front of his own pawns. They can't move. Okay, what is this? Hmm, here we go. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, this is similar to that, but with rook. If we just push, he can go back and defend. And I don't think that we can. Yeah, we play this. He comes back with the rook, defends his square. If we try to go back behind the pawn, then he can just put there and then move his king here, just capture the pawn. Then I think he will win. Either it's a draw or he wins because he has an extra pawn on this. Okay, so we can't do that. But we what can we do is that we can block his path so he never comes and protects it. We can just now king is in his way. So he can't. If he comes here, he can't. That's simple. We remove this in this one. We can give this check. Okay, yeah, we promote. There is no way for him to stop us from promoting. I think. Yeah. This, this, this. Both squares of block. Okay, that's it. We promote. Ah, I don't want.
Oftentimes, the
No, no, no. I don't want this. I want middle game. Middle game. Yeah. Let's. I, no, I want middle game. Lessons. I new to chess. Intermediate. I've done all. Okay. Need to repeat some of these. To do the advanced the openings. Should I go through all of them from the start or not? I'm wondering what should I do? I think I should cover fundamental. Yeah, should do that. Should I change the name of tree? Nah, that's I'll change it later. So change the name for just the sake of no, I think that's good. Let's change the name of this. Everything else good? Good. The first lesson of opening principle.
Control the center, and you can control the game. We may have heard that it's important to control the center and develop our pieces as close to the center as possible, but what exactly does this mean? The center squares are e4, d4, d5, and e5. A popular, as well as strong opening move for white is to play e4. White moves a pawn directly in the center, controlling the d5 and f5 squares in black's territory, and it also opens
I
up
think
lines for white's light-squared
fundamental
bishop and
basic
queen to quickly enter the
I
game.
just want to go
A good response
through
for
all of
black is
them
to
just
play
to
the
talk
same
about
move,
it. I think
e5. By controlling the
there's
center, both sides prevent enemy pawns from entering their
just
territory.
to refresh my
If
memory.
white tries to force two pawns in the center with d4, threatening black's pawn on e5, it's important for black to break up white's pawn center with e takes d4. When white's dreams of taking over the center with pawns have been shattered, so black should not have any serious problems in the opening. Is the center really that important to control? What happens if black wants to move pawns on the edge of the board, such as a6? Pawn moves are important when they can control key squares, especially in the center, and when they open up lines for pieces to enter the game. This move does not control an important central square, and it only allows the rook to move to a7, not exactly improving black's position. Since black does not want to control the important center, don't be shy. Let's take the center for ourselves with d4. White's pawn duo control key squares in black's camp, c5, d5, e5, and f5, making it difficult for black to activate pieces on these squares. If black continues to make meaningless pawn moves such as h6, black has no central control, and besides the pawns, only 4 pieces can move. The knights, which were already able to move at the start of the game, and each rook only has 1 square. Not a good start to the game for black. White's pieces, on the other hand, enjoy great freedom. White's queen and 2 bishops enjoy open lines, and White's knights are ready to jump into the game with a move like knight f3. What happens if black wakes up from a deep sleep and decides to start developing pieces toward the center with knight to c6? Pieces need pawns in the center so they are not constantly attacked. Since black does not have a pawn on d5, white can simply march forward with d5, grabbing space and attacking black's knight, forcing it to waste time by moving again. Black should admit the mistake and retreat the knight, but instead decides to move the knight to the edge of the board with knight a5. Most pieces do not like being on the edge of the board, and the knight is especially weak as it only controls 4 squares. Compare this to white's knight on f3. It controls 8 total squares, twice as many squares as black's knight on a5 controls. More importantly, black's knight doesn't have any safe squares, so white can attack this poorly placed piece with b4. If black does nothing, white will simply win a piece. So after knight c4, black's knight has already moved 3 times, and white can now develop a piece and win the knight with bishop takes c4. Black is in serious trouble, but should at least try to prevent white's central pawns from advancing with d6. Instead, black plays knight f6. Knights love to be close to the center of the board, but you have to prevent enemy pawns from attacking them. Since black has not controlled the center with pawns, how can white gain space and attack black's knight? That's right, once again by advancing a center pawn with e5. Black should once again retreat the knight, admitting another mistake, but decides to lunge forward with knight g4. Notice most of black's escape squares are controlled by pawns. Even black's pawn on h6 prevents a potential knight retreat. How can white win more material? If you found h3, nice work. If black takes the e5 pawn, white simply captures it with the knight on f3. If black plays knight takes f2, at least grabbing a pawn before losing the knight, white should not be afraid to move the king. Let's win material with king takes f2. By controlling the center with pawns and actively developing pieces toward the center, white took advantage of black's careless play and is simply up 2 pieces with an excellent position. Now it's time to practice taking over the center in the challenges.
Okay. We'll play 4. If you don't, I can take. I'm winning a pawn. Yeah. Okay. I will develop my knight. Okay. I can attack you. You have to go back. Don't have any other option. Oh, you go to side, then I attack. And then maybe I can win. Yeah, I will win. You have to. I can just attack. Same here.
As you continue your chess journey,
Just one. Either that is not this. Good. Mm. Good. Yeah. I change the orientation to right. I'll do it later. I'm done. Good. Done, done, done. Let's go back to the lesson.
The starting position in front of us is going to be very familiar to you. But how often do you think about the board without any pieces? When you take a look at a blank chessboard, what comes to mind for you? Do you consider it a canvas with unlimited potential, the beauty just waiting to be discovered? Or perhaps you see 64 squares, 32 light and 32 dark. It's very important to become familiar with the chessboard. Specifically, the chessboard looks flat, and all the squares appear the same, but not all squares are created equally. Consider the center squares E4, D4, D5, and E5. These squares are the chess mountain, the highest point on the chessboard. You want to make sure you have your fair share of the chess mountain, or inner center, and the best way to do that is planting flags, or pawns, in the center of the board. You're claiming E4 as your territory on the mountain. Black will often play E5, doing the same thing. The square surrounding the chess mountain, or inner center, is what we call the outer center. You can consider the outer center as the chess hill, not as high as the chess mountain, but still elevated above all the other squares. When we think about developing our pieces, think about the chess mountain and hill, or inner center and outer center. We want to develop our forces to help control these critical squares. Now that we have a general idea of where we want to place our pieces, let's return White's pieces to the starting squares. Let's pretend for a moment that we can only move 2 pawns and the rest of our pieces only once. Where would you develop your forces? Thinking about the chess mountain, or inner center, we don't have to hesitate to play E4 and D4. Knights love to jump into the outer center and help control the key central squares with knight F3 and knight C3. Bishops love open diagonals, so bishop C4 and bishop F4 are natural squares for these pieces. Take a look at all of the squares these bishops control in enemy territory. Castling has a very important role in our development. For this exercise, let's consider castling as the king move. White's king wisely evacuates the center and now has 3 loyal pawns protecting it. Castling also allows us to bring our rook into the action, especially helping control the center, with a move like rook E1. Now we only have our queen and rook on A1 to move. White's queen can be well placed on E2 or D2. Let's move the queen to D2. Now White's rooks are connected, and White's queen backs up the dark squared bishop, supercharging that diagonal. Finally, we would complete our development with rook A to D1. Notice our 2 central pawns, knights, and bishops are all in the inner and outer center. White's major pieces, the queen and 2 rooks, help support the center, so in the future, White can start advancing pawns up the board. Of course, this is only a dream scenario, and our opponent certainly has something to say about this. So what does a position look like when both sides are following this strategy, activating their pieces and controlling these key squares? Let's take a look. This is a very typical opening position, and notice the balance of the forces. Both sides have pawns in the inner center, controlling their fair share of space. Both sides have castled their king to safety, and the knights and bishops are all controlling key squares in the center. With all this in mind, let's have some fun and see development in action. How important is it to develop our pieces to safe, active squares where they work together in harmony? When one side follows this advice and the other side ignores it, we'll soon find an answer. After E4, E5, knight F3, White combines development with attack. Black's most popular and flexible move is knight C6, developing a piece toward the center and protecting the E5 pawn. Instead, Black plays D6. Is this a good move for Black? It depends on which bishop you ask. Black's light-squared bishop enjoys a newly opened diagonal, but Black's dark-squared bishop isn't exactly thrilled that it's blocked by its own pawn on D6 and cannot enter the action in the center. Although this move isn't bad, Black's dark-squared bishop will have to accept a more passive role than we would prefer. White's bishop on the king side has no such worries after bishop C4, where it controls key central squares and is pointing directly at Black's weak F7 pawn. Black decides to develop the knight on B8. What is the best square for this piece? If Black plays knight A6, when a knight moves to the edge of the board, a famous saying is, "A knight on the rim is dim." Black's knight only controls 4 squares, and none of them are squares in the inner center. Let's compare the last move with knight C6. Developing the knight toward the center with knight c6 is the best square for this piece. It controls both e5 and d4, key central squares, and controls a total of 8 squares, twice as many as it controlled on the edge of the board. Black selected a third option and played knight d7. The knight only protects the e5 square in the center, so it's less active, and now Black's light-squared bishop cannot move. White continues to demonstrate positive development with knight c3. And once again, Black makes a passive knight move with knight e7. Instead of working together, Black's pieces are standing in each other's way. Notice that both of Black's bishops cannot move, which means the knights would have to move again in order to free the natural diagonals for the bishops, wasting more time. Time is not on Black's side, and White punishes Black's poor development immediately with knight g5. Notice how White's pieces are working together. The knight on g5 joins the light-squared bishop in attacking the weak f7 pawn. White's knight on c3 and pawn on e4 join the light-squared bishop in protecting the key d5 square, which means if Black plays the best move in a bad position, d5, White can simply capture the pawn and win material. Instead of blocking this dangerous diagonal with d5, Black decides to play f6, turning the position from bad to completely losing. What would you play as White? You may notice that the queen on d8 is trapped, so you could actually win this piece with knight e6 or knight f7. But is there an even stronger move to play? If you found bishop f7, checkmate. Great job. The king cannot capture the bishop as it's protected by the knight on g5. Black's pieces smother its own king, so it's game over. Now that you've learned the importance of developing your pieces rapidly toward key central squares and using your pieces to work together as a team, you're ready to show off your skills in the challenges.
What can we play? Yeah, guys, this is good. Best. Okay, you can do. I don't think is that the best move? Play the knight g5. Can't we just continue with our development like normal human beings? Phones. Okay. Uh, let us begin with the tweet. Okay, this then. Jack. If you take no, sorry. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Check. Now this is an alternative. Okay. Right. What else can we? Oh, this is better. We normally don't play. Okay. Now we can.
Castle early and castle often. It's a funny, but also helpful phrase to remember during your games. After 3 moves, white is a pawn in the center and developed a knight and bishop toward the center. What's next? It's never too early to make sure your king is safe, so a great move for white is to castle. Remember, this is the one time you can move 2 pieces at once. You move your king 2 squares, and then the rook moves next to your king, like this. Think of castling as building a house for your king. The king finds shelter behind 3 loyal pawns. So it isn't easy for your opponent to tear down your defenses. The other great thing about castling is it answers a question you might be wondering. How do I bring my rooks into the game? Castling allows your rook to move toward the center, where it can enter the action. If you were black in this position, what would your plan be? Castle early and castle often. How can black prepare castling? That's right. Let's move our knight into the action and control the center with knight f6. Preparing to castle and threatening white's pawn on e4. After white protects the e4 pawn with a move such as d3, the house has been built for black's king. Let's move it in with castling. Both sides have safe kings thanks to castling, and each of the rooks used for castling are excited to enter the game in the center. Is castling really that important? Since our opening strategy should be to control the center, actively develop our pieces to help support the center, and castle our king to safety, we definitely do. What is white to do? How can we move our king to safety and protect our rook on h1 at the same time? That's right, we can castle queenside. Our king has escaped the dangers of the center, and now the rooks are connected, protecting each other on the first rank. White's position isn't perfect, but it's a lot better now that we've castled. You've done a great job exploring the importance of protecting our king by castling. Now let's castle early and often in the challenges.
Yes.
Winning a chess game isn't something you can simply make happen. There is no outright winning strategy or forced win. If you simply hope that your opponent will do all of the work for you and make a blunder, you won't win as many games and you won't get very good. The only way to win at chess is by playing with sound strategies and gradually making your position better until you have an overwhelming advantage or your opponent can't handle the pressure and cracks. The key to improving your position is making your pieces active. An active piece is one that is full of potential and ready to jump into action. When you start a game of chess, none of your pieces are active. Most of your pieces can't even move. Your job is to get your pieces into the game and put them on active squares where they can attack, defend, and improve your control of the board. Let's take a look at a few positions and compare who has more active pieces. Let's start by looking at some opening moves and see which side does a better job activating their pieces. White begins the game with e4, controlling the center and already opening up lines for the light-squared bishop and queen. Black plays h6. This pawn controls g5 but does nothing to help with development. White plays knight f3. The knight activates toward the center, controlling the d4 and e5 central squares. Black plays knight a6, developing a piece, but unlike White's last knight move to f3, Black's knight on a6 does not control the center and only controls 4 squares, b4, c5, c7, and b8. Let's compare that to the knight on f3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 total squares, or twice as many as the knight on a6 controls. That's why it's important to develop toward the center. White follows this advice with bishop to c4, controlling the center and placing pressure on Black's weakest point, the f7 square. Notice White is ready to castle on the very next turn. Black plays h5, moving the h-pawn for a second time, which does not control any central squares and wastes time that could have been used to develop a piece. White castles the king to safety and brings the rook toward the center. Black places a second knight to the edge of the board, reducing its square control again to only 4 squares, just like the knight on a6. White activates the rook with rook e1. The rook enjoys open lines in the center of the board. Notice the rook can help support the e-pawn's advance up the board in the future. Taking a look at White's position, you can notice that White has placed a pawn in the center, has developed pieces to active squares that help control the center, and White has also castled the king to safety. Black, on the other hand, does not control any of the key central squares, has 2 knights on the edge of the board, and Black has not moved any pawns that would allow the bishops and queen to enter the game. White's position is far more active. Let's take a look at another position. Take a moment and compare White and Black's pieces. Which side has more active pieces, White or Black? Let's first look at White's pieces. Notice that White has 3 pieces in Black's territory: the bishop on f6, the knight on d6, and the rook on c7. All of these pieces are very active. The bishop on f6 controls a lot of key squares right in front of Black's king, and notice the bishop controls the entire a1 to h8 diagonal. This bishop also controls h4 to d8, controlling a lot of dark squares right in black's territory. The knight on d6 is excellently placed. It's putting pressure on f7, b7, and the bishop on c8. Notice white's rook on c7 is doing the same thing, pressurizing all three of these targets as well. The only piece that's not in black's territory is the rook on d1, and it enjoys a lot of open squares and also protects the knight on d6. Let's compare that with black's pieces. Black has no pieces in white's territory, and notice black has 3 pieces still on the 8th rank. The rook on a8, the bishop on c8, and the rook on f8. The only piece not on the back rank is the knight on h6, stuck in the corner. Notice the knight cannot move to f5 or g4 because white has pawns that would capture that knight. Black's pieces are basically paralyzed. Take a look at the light-squared bishop on c8. It has 1 square, d7, and it's already protected by the white rook. The black rook on f8 cannot move to e8 because of the knight, or d8 without getting captured by the bishop. The only piece that can move without getting captured is the rook on a8, and it can only move to b8, where it's not really doing much. So to take a look at this position, we can say white has very active pieces and black has very inactive pieces. Let's take a look at one more position. Finally, in this position, is it clear which side has more active pieces? Let's take a look. Notice that both sides have pawns directly in the center, d4 and d5. Both sides have very active bishops. They both control kingside and queenside space. Both sides have queens directly behind those bishops, controlling good diagonals on the kingside as well as queenside, and they're well placed in the center of the board. Notice both sides have rooks on the c-file, enjoying a lot of open squares. The only difference between the two sides is the rook on e1 for white has the e-file all to itself. Meanwhile, the rook on f8 isn't really doing that much for black. So black solves this by playing rook f to e8. Both sides have very active pieces. We would call this an even or balanced position. Now that you've learned how to identify active versus inactive pieces, it's your turn to practice activating your pieces. Winning a chess game isn't something you can simply make happen. There's no outright winning strategy or forced win. If you simply hope that your opponent will do all of the work for you and make a blunder, you won't win as many games and you won't get very good. The only way to win. Notice white is ready to castle on the very next turn. Black plays h5, moving the h-pawn for a second time, which does not control any central squares and wastes time that could have been used to develop a piece. White castles the king to safety and brings the rook toward the center. Black places a second knight to the edge of the board, reducing its square control again to only 4 squares, just like the knight on a6. White activates the rook with rook e1. The rook enjoys open lines in the center of the board. Notice the rook can help support the e-pawn's advance up the board in the future. Taking a look at white's position, you can notice that white has placed a pawn in the center, has developed pieces to active squares that help control the center, and white has also castled the king to safety. Black, on the other hand, does not control any of the key central squares, has 2 knights on the edge of the board, and black has not moved any pawns that would allow the bishops and queen to enter the game. White's position is far more active. Let's take a look at another position. Take a moment and compare white and black's pieces. Which side has more active pieces, white or black? Let's first look at white's pieces. Notice that white has 3 pieces in black's territory, the bishop on f6, the knight on d6, and the rook on c7. All of these pieces are very active. The bishop on f6 controls a lot of key squares right in front of black's king, and notice the bishop controls the entire a1 to h8 diagonal. This bishop also controls h4 to d8, controlling a lot of dark squares right in black's territory. The knight on d6 is excellently placed. It's putting pressure on f7, b7, and the bishop on c8. Notice white's rook on c7 is doing the same thing, pressurizing all 3 of these targets as well. The only piece that's not in black's territory is the rook on d1, and it enjoys a lot of open squares and also protects the knight on d6. Let's compare that with black's pieces. Black has no pieces in white's territory, and notice black has 3 pieces still on the 8th rank. The rook on a8, the bishop on c8, and the rook on f8. The only piece not on the back rank is the knight on h6, stuck in the corner. Notice the knight cannot move to f5 or g4 because white has pawns that would capture that knight. Black's pieces are basically paralyzed. Take a look at the light squared bishop on c8. It has 1 square, d7, and it's already protected by the white rook. The black rook on f8 cannot move to e8 because of the knight, or d8 without getting captured by the bishop. The only piece that can move without getting captured is the rook on a8, and it can only move to b8, where it's not really doing much. So to take a look at this position, we can say white has very active pieces, and black has very inactive pieces. Let's take a look at one more position. Finally, in this position, is it clear which side has more active pieces? Let's take a look. Notice that both sides have pawns directly in the center, d4 and d5. Both sides have very active bishops. They both control kingside and queenside space. Both sides have queens directly behind those bishops, controlling good diagonals on the king side as well as queen side, and they're well placed in the center of the board. Notice both sides have rooks on the c-file, enjoying a lot of open squares. The only difference between the 2 sides is the rook on e1 for white has the e-file all to itself. Meanwhile, the rook on f8 isn't really doing that much for black, so black solves this by playing rook f to e8. Both sides have very active pieces. We would call this an even or balanced position. Now that you've learned how to identify active versus inactive pieces, it's your turn to practice activating your pieces. As you continue on your chess journey, it's a great feeling when you start to win more games and notice that you are making stronger moves. If you really want to take your game to the next level, it's essential to start thinking about your opponent's moves and truly understanding their ideas before deciding on your own move. The most obvious idea behind an opponent's move is a check, such as Queen b1, delivering a check to our king. Since our king is under attack, it's easy to react instantly and play King h2. Unfortunately, if we play too quickly, we risk missing the entire story behind our opponent's move. Before responding, try to understand all of the things your opponent's move does. Yes, Black's queen checked White's king, but was that the only purpose of the move? Notice Black's queen was also attacking the unprotected bishop, so Black can play queen takes b5. Black is no longer down a piece and has a good position. Let's take a look at this position again. Now that we understand that Black's queen is attacking both our king and unprotected bishop, known as a double attack, is there a way we can both block the check and protect our bishop? If you found bishop f1, great job! We block the check and protect our bishop at the same time, so White is up a piece and enjoys a great position. Now let's take our game to the next level and start to think seriously about our opponent's moves and ideas in the following examples. In this position, after Black plays knight b4, instead of immediately focusing on what we should do, let's make sure we understand the point behind Black's last move. When a knight begins to jump, we want to carefully consider where it may land. Knight takes a2 looks pointless because we can simply capture it with our rook. Where else is the knight attacking? That's right, the pawn on c2. Notice that Black's bishop on f5 is also attacking that pawn. A common mistake is to understand that our pawn is under attack and then decide to move it with c3, attacking Black's knight and moving the pawn to safety. How could this be a mistake? Unfortunately, the knight wasn't just attacking the pawn, it was also attacking the c2 square. So Black can play knight c2 check, forking White's king and rook on a1. White should make the best out of a bad situation and move the king, because if White plays queen takes c2, Black wins a queen for a knight with bishop takes c2. Let's take a second look at this position and try to find a better option for White. Since Black has two pieces attacking the c2 square, and we only have one defender, the queen, what should we do about this threat? If we play e4, trying to block the Black bishop's diagonal, Black will simply capture the pawn with the bishop, and we still have to solve our main problem, the weak c2 square. Feel free to pause the video if you'd like more time to think about the position. If you found the defensive resource knight a3, great job! We don't usually like moving our knight to the edge of the board where it controls fewer squares, but this inconvenience is easier to accept than losing a serious amount of material. Now that c2 is properly protected, we're ready to kick the knight out of our territory with c3. And if Black plays knight takes c2 check, as long as we capture with our least valuable defender first with knight takes c2, bishop takes c2, and queen takes c2, after all of the trades, White is up an extra bishop for a pawn, so Black should have spent more time thinking about the consequences of our knight a3 move before capturing the c2 pawn. Let's continue to work on understanding the ideas behind our opponent's moves. In this position, White decides to play queen f6. Take a moment to understand all of the ideas behind White's last move. You may notice Black's rook on d8 is under attack. So with that information in mind, Black may play rook e8, moving the rook to safety and adding a second attacker to the e4 pawn. Before deciding on our move, don't forget to ask, what are all of the ideas behind my opponent's last move? It is true that White's queen attacks 3 pawns, but none of these moves look very good. Remember to always look for checks and captures. In this case, White can win the game immediately with queen g7. Checkmate. After carefully considering all of the ideas behind our opponent's last move, how can we both prevent checkmate and protect our rook on d8? It might not look possible, but your knight on c5 is ready to come to the rescue. Where can you move your knight to stay in the game? That's right, you can play knight e6. This move prevents checkmate on g7 as the knight would simply capture the queen, and it also protects the rook on d8. Knight e6 isn't the first move that may come to mind, but by taking the time to fully understand the ideas behind your opponent's move, we can find these important resources. Sometimes you can make a threat and it seems like your opponent is completely ignoring you. If white plays rook to f1, we may expect black to play rook f8 to protect the hanging pawn on f7. It may come as a surprise to see black play rook to d8. This move seems to completely ignore our threat of rook takes f7. Of course, sometimes your opponent only focuses on their own moves and misses the purpose behind your moves. If you don't see a point behind your opponent's last move, you need to trust yourself and continue with your plan. If it turns out you overlooked a tactic, you will gain a valuable lesson, but you cannot fear threats that you do not see. It turns out that rook d8, lining up with our king, is a very tricky way to defend the f7 pawn. So white should move the king off of the same file as black's rook with a move such as king c4. After rook takes f7, black has a surprising move which wins white's rook. Take a moment to look for this incredible resource. If you found the powerful move knight e5 check, excellent job. The pawn on d4 cannot capture the knight as it would put our own king in check, which is illegal. And after white moves the king to safety with a move such as king e2, black wins the rook with knight takes f7. Let's take a look at one more example together. Chess is such a beautiful game as there are so many layers to discover. In this position, black plays knight takes b3. What is the point of this move? It looks like black is simply offering a trade of pieces. One way to help improve your game is to ask yourself every time your opponent makes a move, if my opponent had another move, what would they play? We might assume black would simply move the knight to safety and be up a piece. If white doesn't think carefully about this question and simply plays a takes b3, white is in for a rude awakening. When you ask, if my opponent had another move, what would they play? Always look at every single check and capture your opponent can play, because these are the moves that may cost you the game, as in this case, with queen c1, checkmate. Since black's threat is queen c1 checkmate, you might make a quick decision and play a move like g3, opening up an escape square for your king. Before deciding to not recapture black's knight and accept being down a piece, is there another way to capture black's knight and prevent checkmate? Notice white's queen is on c7, and it could guard the checkmate square if the c2 pawn wasn't in the way. This means we can play c takes b3. So now black cannot play queen c1, as we would simply capture the queen. You've done an excellent job working through one of the most important skills to develop, always looking out for your opponent's moves and making sure you understand the ideas hidden behind them. Now let's stay alert and remain one step ahead of our opponent's moves and the challenges. Knowing the rules of chess is just the beginning. Chess is an incredible
Hello. Okay, he's not. Maybe he's earlier. Maybe go back. I can stop this. I think this. Yeah, I think. No, wait. If I play this, yeah. No. Okay. Control here. And play this. Okay. Now I can play this. That looks good. Good. Now, can we play now on the next move? If it is, he has to take. Otherwise, no. He has to either take or move the knight. Okay. Mm, and one just we do with that. If if we do that, no, that has to that with this one. Let's okay. Yes, the same. Oh, because this okay. Okay. This, okay. Do I need to take? I can play this and this. Do I really need to take? I can play this. If we take, he plays this. Nah, I think I play this. If he takes, I will take back. If he goes back, then I can play this. What move does like in the next move I can play this. Okay. If he plays, he'll just he goes back. Then I don't think he's good at. Wait a minute. Why I didn't? Okay. Yeah. That's why. this. He has to either take or he has to either move the knight or take the pawn. He can't take the pawn. He has moved the knight. Then we will take the pawn. And take the, I can take this and then take because he's trying to attack. So I can just take with the knight. Then he can I think I will take. That's just a free pawn. After that, can he take? No, I don't think he can take. I will just take. If he takes, then it is still work. Okay, we just take. No, if he goes here, I can just go back. Then here. Ah, I can take the same move. We take this, this, then so that that for him. Okay, he moves, trying to. I can just protect, and he's also attacking this. Okay, but then that's nothing. Second there, can I do? I can go for that. Okay. Hmm. That's okay. I can give a check. I can give a check, and wait. I can play this move. I can give check. By moving, I can't protect both at the same time. So my option is either to check this. Give it, and I will decide the next move accordingly. Okay, what can we do here is we can take this. Maybe we definitely have. We just have to find it. Better than four. Four. We can just get this. Then do the- I think that's it. I will play that. Seems to be good. He can't play. Now I can get this. Days. What can he do? Maybe he can castle. I think that's the only that I can think of. Yeah, I shouldn't have this. Even if he castle, I don't think that really. We still have rook c1. So he can't castle. Long castle. There is no pawn. There are no pawn. So I think what will he? What can he be? My idea is to keep a rook. So if he will start, so maybe he will play bishop a7. Then I will just take it. Okay, start you to that. Then I will double my other rook on c1. Does this work? Does this move work? This if he plays that. If I take okay, let's see. I can play this and this. Take this. We take either way. We take it. I think I will take first. If we take, I can just take. tested. No, this was that does what they 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 this does it work? I hope so. I can take this, or I can take the this that I will just take that. Let's move this. Okay, he does that. And just do this. I don't think this is the best move. I can keep this trick also. And he is going on full attack. No, okay. I will just come. That is good. Now this will be there. Oh, okay. Should I have to this? He can't take. He can't. So this maybe. That That doesn't work. Here. Okay, let's see the please. Okay, that's it. I give this check and do that. Pick this up. Take design. We made two blenders. Okay. Did we make any mistake? No. We made three inaccuracy and one. Okay. Opening was okay. Why was this many? Okay. Okay. Oh, this. Okay. Okay. I can see now. Okay, let's see. I was up today. I didn't calculate properly. If you did, then what will we pay? He takes D7. Okay. And he'll play this and what? G3? Yeah, Indian still jams. E6 to play this, to bring this, then to play this. I wouldn't. Yeah, but that's better. Yeah. So I should have. I was worried that he was gonna take what will I do. Okay, let's move on. But that was also good. I should have thinking about that. Okay, we should have directly. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We will take the with the knight. Then what will we d5? Okay. What do you think? We will check. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Take, take. Who would play that? Queen F3. No human would play that unless you have a game or something. Uh, Okay, we played a brilliant move. Defense second, but I think they made brilliant move too easy. Any sacrifice is now great. Before that, it used to be something. Now there's normal sacrifices are just kill. Stuff. Yeah. Okay, I was thinking about this. To play this, and if we take this, could have played this way too. I think. Yeah, I could have played like this too. Now I can just take. Does that still work? Is it okay? Okay, okay. Yeah, kind of work. Okay, okay. I was thinking of playing some. Okay. Why is that a mistake though? Okay. Hmm. the person who begins. Is this an opening? I think that seems interesting. Even if I really don't hope. Just trying. Yeah, I will develop tonight and try to keep go for it. Go. If it doesn't do it, will I think I do that. I think I will. This sounds better. Come on. Yeah, I think I will do this. This setup looks that seems somehow. Don't but it somehow looks okay. Now I can go there. I can see. Do I really wanna take? No. Can I take? I think that work. I can take. Does he have something? I don't think so. And it does he have? No, I don't know. I'm not sure. That do work, doesn't it? Hey, why are you turning off? And just work for a second. take that so that I think so. So check that. Free pawn is a free pawn. Now I can also try to play. Okay. That option. There's I think I will go with he made a mistake. That was a mistake. What if he plays this? Then what will I play? Just take. And do I have something? Yes, right there. We'll go for that. I can just play that with that. I can play. Slowly I can. I would like to keep my neck. Okay. I should just castle. I, I will just castle, bring my rook. Okay, he plays that. Now what should we do? We can play this. He's basically trying to capture this. So we can play this. Takes. Do we have something special? We can just take this. Just take with the bishop, and we can just castle and then prepare for this later on. Okay, I'll just take with the bishop. I think. Oh, slow down, slow him down. And yeah, could have also played there. Yeah, that was a better move. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Yeah, I missed that. Totally missed that. Okay. I should have played this. Hey, what was his best move? No, he didn't get the move, then I would have played that. Okay, that totally missed that. Hmm. Wait. Okay, we made a mistake. Nonetheless, we will just stop. We were better. Now it's just so okay. I don't want to miss something uh, something like that again. He will just hustle. We will bring the rope. Then yeah. And is that I could have won this easily. But okay. Let's go for that. I can take this. Is there anything else? I can go for that too. I can play this. Play Lee too. So that so in this now go mm, don't that. No, he will not take. Okay, that's first row. So I can just play this. Can't I? This. Continue with this. He will not take. He doesn't want to give up. So I will play this in hopes of this. But that's dependent on him. What will he do? He will simply move like this. And if I continue, that seems good enough. And this is the I can if I do that, he will take this. If I go for that, he will just say it doesn't work, doesn't work. Let's go. Now I wish I have this. We made we are not okay, forget it. You didn't do anything wrong. Just forget that. Now continue. Normal. Just as you did. Okay. You can try this. No, I'm just joking. So yeah, doesn't work now. Wow. can go for that. I can take this. That's so much. Simply losing. Okay. Oh, why did I saw that? After that, yes, anything to try. Oh, yeah, everything back. We have gone. It's not getting out of my head that I could have done that. I can take this, then take this. That is good. And go back and see. We take seconds and we take and go for this. We have we still have advantage, but it's not that clear. It's not that we I hope this ends quickly. Okay, I can take and go for that. That will be one thing, but that doesn't seem a lot of. It's not. It's good. Is that great? I think a pawn is a pawn. So let's take it. Take it. We will take it happily. Mm, mm, That's it. He will focus on this now. So what I need to do is let's say I need to go there, focus on this, and that is all. How to progress from here? That thing. We can go there and try for that somehow. It's not clear. So we're gonna progress from here. We can play this. That seems like a good move. This and this. Hmm, that seems good. Okay, he. Oh, why did you play this? Okay, 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 okay. No, no, no. I would have just made a blunder. Okay, this. That doesn't matter. Okay, okay, okay. This, this, this. I can take with this, and let's see, let's see. I can take with this and this, and then play this. I can aim for this now. After taking this, after taking this, I can aim for this. I will take it. That seems like a good move. Now I am going to take this and take this. How will we protect? Can he protect the both of them? I don't think so. He has to move. There's that. Can just stay. Okay, that doesn't work. I think. Nah. If I play this. Sorry. This. Hmm. I can just go for the kill. I can just go for the kill. Here. To take this. Here. This. Oh, I shouldn't have played. I should have gone for that. Okay, okay, okay. Not bad, but not really good. Oh, I should have gone for that. Oh, I made another mistake. Why didn't I think of that? I was thinking about it. We're still fine and nothing crazy. Fuck, I should have gone for that. I think now we are just yes, should have gone for the pawn here. Yes, I should have gone here and if we did and this and this then this. Yeah, that should have been my move, but this no, not that that work. So maybe this, then take. That would have been good. I don't know how I missed, but the fact that I see that means I can later I can see that more often if I practice even more. So that's for the better. Mm, see what he does. Okay, he goes back. I can just play this and cut him off. That seems like a good move, but I wanna do that. Okay, okay, but wait. He gives a check, then we lose because they can play this. Yes, yes. Can I play this? This is kind of scary. Maybe let's anyway. Let's play. Let's see what's up. Make it interesting. Anybody can play that safe move. We will take some rest. That's how we make it fun. He will probably go here. So we must prepare for that. Can just play this? Can we? I think so. We can play that. Now he goes here. I can play this. I think. Yeah. Now but this and this. If we take, then what will you do? We take, you take. He will come here. Then what? I should play this. This is scary. I have to play this. Let's stop it. Then this. Okay. Okay. We can play this. We can play this, but he can just take. That doesn't seem good. I can go back to. We can cut him off, but he can just take. No. He, can it? But this somehow seems issue. Yeah, can play that. Okay. But if we play this, then he can just come here. That's unstoppable. This here and wait. Okay, let's see what else we have. I think this is the only option. plays that, I have to just make sure to play this. Otherwise, when he plays that, I'll take and he will just take. I have to take otherwise. That's it. Now he's under 1 minute. That's good for us at least. If okay, if I go here. Oh, why did I play that? That was the mouse click kind of. Played it too fast. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay. Let's think for a moment. Okay. I made mistake. Terrible mistake. I don't wanna do that again. We lost a pawn. Fuck. Oh no. Why did I do that? Fuck. How did I do that? I managed to lose both pawns. Somehow we did it. It was not possible, but we did it. Now I think it will probably draw. Okay. We still have some gas left. We're not gone completely. Nobody can come there. So that's good thing for us. So going for this. Make a mistake, please make a mistake. Let me win. I want to win. Don't lose on time, please. I don't want that. I just want you to make a mistake. Make a mistake. Let me win. He won't let me have it. That is won't. Now I can play that. Uh, I can take this and then take that. Okay. We're still in the clear. Yeah, we got it. We got him. We got him. He thought if I take that he will take, but we got him. We are winning this one. We are not losing.